As you guys can probably tell by my background, I'm a huge NFL guy. So I decided to make a channel showcasing my 2 fantasy football teams. I hope you guys enjoy, and you guys tell me if my teams are good or not. Now, for being such a big fan of the NFL, I only have 2 teams this year, and that's because there are so many games to watch and so many players to keep track of. How could I do more than 2 leagues? You know, these things aren't free, and I want to win, if you know what I'm saying. So if I put a little more time and energy into other teams, it doesn't calculate towards a winning percentage, if you know what I'm saying. It's basic mathematics. Now, the first league I'm in is a 10-team PPR league, which is a lot of fun because everybody's team is stacked. Here's my lineup for week 1. Jameis against the 49ers, that's a good play. Obviously, because the 49ers secondary is a little sus, and the Buccaneers have absolutely no run game, they have absolutely no defense, they're going to be passing the ball the entire game. We all know this. So whether Jameis throws 3 picks, 4 picks, no picks, 1 pick, doesn't matter how many picks, Jameis is putting up points, because Jameis is going to be throwing the ball 50 times a game. So I figure he's a nice play this week. Alvin Kamara, self-explanatory. I mean, come on. Kerryon Johnson versus Arizona, I figured was a great pick this week because Arizona's run game is a little sus and Kerryon is the only featured back in that backfield. I think he's going to have a ton of touches this season. Not only in the running game, but also in the passing game, because Kerryon Johnson can do it all. Now, I plugged Stefon Diggs in my lineup, and he's really coming in clutch early in the season with a hammy injury, so might have to pull him out of my lineup soon, depending on whether his status changes for the game. My number 2 receiver is Christopher Godwin, who, matched up with Jameis Winston on the same team, is going to get me double the points. Now, Chris Godwin is going to be in the slot receiver on a Bruce Arians offense, which is a very good fantasy position because Bruce Arians tends to highlight the slot receiver, and Jameis Winston is going to love him in the red zone. George Kittle against Tampa Bay is a no-brainer. George Kittle was a top 3 fantasy tight end last season, and how could I pass him up? I took him with my 2nd-round draft pick, maybe a little too high, but you know what? You got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Finally, in the almighty flex position, Austin Ekeler. Melvin Gordon is the real MVP, for me at least. As long as he holds out, I get to have Austin Ekeler in my lineup, who's supposedly splitting carries with Justin Jackson. I think that's a load of horse crap if you ask me. My defense, Chargers defense that is. Pretty good defense if I say so myself, but if I'm being honest, they were the last good defense left. Finally, at the kicker position, Fairbairn, great kicker. The Texans' offense is going to be on fire this year. They got Laramie Tunsil on the offensive line. They just traded for Kenny Stills. They got Will Fuller coming back. They got the Sean Watson. They got. Figured I would just show you my bench in this 10-team PPR league if you wanna see that for yourselves as well. You know, you got the boy Cooper Kupp, who's probably gonna end up into the starting rotation eventually. You got Tevin Coleman, who, if Austin Ekeler goes down or Melvin Gordon decides to, come back all of a sudden, he's gonna be a good player to have because he is now one of the lead backs in San Francisco as Jared McKinnon went down with a sad injury. And I'm very sad about it because I have Tevin Coleman, you know? Kyler Murray, very mobile quarterback. I'm expecting that offense to be on fire this year, even if they only win 3 games. At least they'll be exciting to watch. Arizona fans. Marvin Jones Jr., in my opinion, is an underrated wide receiver this year. Matt Stafford is only going to be throwing to Kenny Golladay, and I really think he's going to shine as the now number 2 receiver in Detroit. Greg Olsen, you are old, but I still think you can do it. And Darrell Henderson, the highlight of my bench. Todd Gurley, I love you, but if you go down, I would not mind it because I have Darrell Henderson, the greatest handcuff in all the land. Hopefully I have this video out before week 1 so you guys can see my teams before the season starts. Next week, I hope to have a video out showing you my reaction to week 1. I'll show you my reaction to the games, to my players, to my team. I'll show you who I picked up, who I dropped, who's getting the boot, who's leaving, who's coming in, all that jazz. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more. I'm going to be posting weekly updates of my fantasy team, and hopefully you come along on this journey with me, if you know what I'm saying. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Have a great football Sunday, and I'll see you next week.